Happy International Women's Day from Culture Hub TV. We wish you a happy International Women's Day. And today we are just going to have a girl to woman talk or girls talk or women talk, wherever you love how to call it. And we're just going to look at the stages or the journeys that women go through in their life, from baby to girl to women, economically, socially, emotionally, and what have you. And I am joined with a very, very interesting person. You don't wanna wait, eh? So she'll just introduce herself. Alafu we get down to this conversation. It's gonna be lit. So you must keep it up there on Culture Hub TV. Remember to subscribe, to like, to comment, and to give us your ear on this. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much, Sawene.
Yes.
My name is Nekesa Muramara, and you cannot start to imagine how happy I am to talk about the women or the woman today. International Women's Day is a special day to any woman who have actually witnessed the steps that the woman have walked. The journey, it has been such a treacherous journey. And I think we cannot really have enough time to talk about the woman's steps and the progress that the woman has made.
Yes.
Yeah.
So today being an International Women's Day, you have said you're happy to talk about this, and like there is that part of you. I don't know. They say we are modern people have this tendency to celebrate things that come their way, like this special day, this specific day. What plans do you have for yourself or for the women that surround you?
Okay, maybe plans does not start to explain it because the International Women's Day is a package in itself. You might be too young to understand probably where the woman has come from. This creature called a woman has really fought for the space, and to even be there, it's not by chance. It's on all fronts. When it's talked about the social place of a woman in the community, when you look at the economic place of a woman in the community, without even mentioning the political one. I really want to, because of the time, I really want to talk about first the African woman and then the Kenyan woman. I will talk about the woman in Bungoma County.
Okay.
The African woman initially had no place. Like a woman in the African setup was actually looked at as a child.
Yes.
When you look at somebody as a child, when you look at the Constitution of Kenya, a child is somebody who cannot make any decision.
Yes.
A child is somebody who cannot ender any contract.
Sure.
A child is not somebody whose opinion matters. Like everything has to be done for that child. Now you can close your eyes and imagine if the woman was took as a child. It means nothing was done with the woman in mind.
Yes.
It was like everything, the decision had to be done for this woman. Like for example, when men are talking serious issues of the community, the woman was not supposed to give her opinion.
Yes.
And even in some this is not just about the olden days. It's not about the African woman. Even in Kenya, there are some communities where a woman's opinion is not sought. I have friends working in regions like Pokot, in Maasai. When the Maasais are having a conversation, even something that actually concerns women, the women are not supposed to say anything. When they are having like a baraza, you will see the men sitting somewhere where maybe they have to give their voice have to be heard. Then the women will be lumped together with the children. Meaning that is their place.
Yes.
Now, when they discuss something and now they want their opinion to be heard or they want to pass across information, the woman will now, they will send one man from the men to go and get the collective opinion. Now the women have discussed, and they have said, now this is our position.
Yes.
Now the one man has to go to the women where they're sitting with the kids and now say, this is what we have said. Now, can you go and present? You know, the risk is this. You don't know if this person who is taking back the information is going to say exactly
what you have.
Yes. So there is also that element of distortion, especially for effect. Especially if what they have decided is not popular with the men, they can easily change because they are not there to say, no, that is not what I said.
Exactly.
Yeah. So socially, you can see where we have come from. And even still some women are still fighting that. In Kenya.
Yes.
When you come to the issue of economics, do you know until very recently, women were not allowed to own property. Now, if you can't own property, it means you cannot be able to economically be able to utilize your potential to earn a living. Because one, if you can, for example, not have a title deed in your name, it means you cannot own property.
It's true.
It means you cannot now have a title deed that will allow you to go and get a financial facility. Because now you can use a title deed to get a loan.
It's true.
That loan will enable you get finances to start business.
Yeah.
Now you don't have that provision. So you really need to really rely on the man to be able to do all that for you. Even when the woman, in fact, most of the work on the farm was done by the women. But you know, you end there. You can only work on that land. You cannot make decisions about that land. You cannot wake up in the morning and say, this year I'm not going to plant beans, I'll plant maize. Or this time the maize, the economics are not favoring the maize, I'll plant sugarcane. That was not the decision for women. So economically, they were subordinates to the men. So it actually makes it very difficult. Like the woman cannot make an economic decision for her children. So it's like what the man has decided has to work for all of them.
Okay.
The politics has actually been worse. When you look at how politics has been, the women have been like, now they cannot be leaders. They have been they have been in the shadows. I can actually call it shadows, shadows of men. Like even when they are not presenting themselves for elections, but when they go to vote, like the man, they will sit down and the man say, tomorrow we are going to vote and you have to vote for A and B. Yes, this is my choice. And if you don't vote for this person, you don't come back to my house.
Exactly.
So for survival purposes, because they don't have any other way, you know, remember, the land belongs to the man.
Yes.
The food she's eating has been brought in by the man. So if the man says, if you do this, then you don't get this. It was like a carrot.
Yes.
You do this or you don't get this.
Yeah.
So the woman will just go to vote for this particular person, not because she believes this person is going to make the best leader, but because it's the decision of the man.
It's true.
In Kenya, we have had issues of women being elected in political positions. Until the coming in of Akina Agnes Ndetei, Akina Nyiva Mwendwa. So that is when women, and you know, those women became pariahs in the society.
Yes.
Like anybody who went the Agnes Ndetei way or the Nyiva Mwendwa way was like, usukiwa kama huyo mwanamuke. Yani they were tagged like rebels in the society. But you know, these women were actually fighting for the space.
For the space of a woman.
Yes. But even the women hated them more. They did not want to be associated with them. Anybody who associated with them was like, unataka kuwa kama fulani.
Unaribika.
Yes. And you remember that is the time when if you have heard about our women going to Beijing. You know, Beijing was going to talk about equality.
Yes.
The women were looking for that space, equality. But now it was turned around. You know, there is something we call positive and discriminative equality. For example, when this glass is shorter, now when you want somebody to be able to see on top of this on this table, you will put a number of glasses to be on the same level with the bottle, so that the bottle does not obstruct the glass. So that is what we call discriminative equality. But now, when you put this here, and you put this glass here, and put this here, you are being unfair to this.
Yes.
It is equitable because everybody thinks it is equal because everybody says we are on the same level. But it's not equitable.
It's true.
Yeah. So when we talk of equality, it looked like equality cannot work. Because now you see there are what we call women who are like left back gender. Now, like the men had really gone far ahead
of us, yeah.
Politics, economically, socially. So it is like when we say now we apply equality, then it is not going to work. So the issue of equitable, that is fairness.
Yes.
How do we marry equality and equitable to be able to work for both the men and the women? Now you see, it is like now a lot of effort was now put in the women. Until now you hear the men now are crying about being left behind. Yes. Now you hear the issue about the boy child is becoming extinct.
Yes, they because complain, there is woman representative, there is no men representative.
Yeah. And then now you see like all efforts are now geared towards the girl child. Girl children should go to school. Girl children should be given positions. Girl children should do this. Until now, in every job, they are talking about the woman should have 30%.
Yes.
The youth should have 30%. And in those youths, we have to have a woman.
Yes.
So it is like now, the boy child is now is like being abandoned. But when you look at it, we have had, in Africa especially, until I think in the early 2000s is when we had the first female president in Africa. That was in Liberia, Sirleaf Johnson. Yes. She's the one who broke the ceiling. So she actually, and she has been very lonely. Because after Sirleaf, I don't think we have had another female president until the
Tanzania, Samia.
Yes, Samia came in.
Yes.
So you see, it's like still the gap is still a gulf. But we are saying, how do we reduce this gulf in the gap and eventually into a seamless line? So it has not been easy, Sawene. It hasn't been easy. And that is why the women, as much as they push the women agenda, it's like the women themselves do not believe in themselves.
Yeah.
It's that the women themselves are their own enemies. And now they got to a misconception where they thought now women are supposed to be strong and override the men. That was a misconception. That was not the intention of the women empowerment.
Yes.
You can be a strong woman with a man besides you. You can be a strong woman with a man holding your hand. But now the misconception is for you to be a strong woman, you must be on your own. I don't think that is what we mean by woman empowerment.
Yes.
Maybe I belong in the school of thought that believes two are better than one.
Exactly.
It's only that sometimes situations come to us and I think we want to camouflage. We want to camouflage our weaknesses, and now because you can't get a man besides you, you now want to make it look like it is better without the man. A man is better with a woman. A woman is a better. But in the event that there is no man beside a woman, you don't now need to become weak. You can be a strength into yourself.
Yes.
And that is why we say any single woman fighting and standing up for herself is actually standing out for other women unknowingly.
Exactly.
Every time you stand to fight for your space as an individual, if now I push you and say, Sawene, get out of this chair, and you stay put and say, Madam, I'm not moving out, you're actually fighting for other women. There's another woman who will be watching and say, Sawene did this, meaning I can also. So you are unknowingly motivating another woman. So I think that is the agenda we want to look at. And to me, that is why we can now, today, a day like this, we can sit here and say, I celebrate the girl child.
Yes.
You can see now even the transitions in school. The girls are even more than boys.
Exactly.
That is the story. Those are the stories that we want to hear. But it doesn't now mean we want to now pull back the boy child. We want the boy child and the girl child to work, yes, fairly. Let them go places together. And you know, I think that is where the Kenyan constitution is really balancing, where they're saying when we have a man a governor who is a man, we want a deputy governor who is a woman.
Yeah.
When we will have a woman president, we want a deputy who is a man. I think what they are trying to say is, why can't we blend these two genders and be able to tap into individual strengths and be able to come up with a cocktail of strengths?
Yes.
Yeah. To me, that is what we talk about women empowerment. To me, women empowerment is not about being psychophants of a certain school of thought. Yeah. We don't want to look like we are rebels. We are a strong women, and a strong woman is a strong woman who can be able to support a man by her side or accept the support from a man and be able to charter her path.
Exactly.
To me, that is the strong woman.
Wow.
Yeah.
Words of wisdom from Miss Madam Nekesa. And oh my God, if you can't listen, or if you can't get what Madam Nekesa said, then I don't know what's troubling your mind really, because happy International Women's Day, and getting to find a woman who can talk to you, who can give us the transition of a woman from the African woman to the women of these times. Oh my God, it is just beautiful. Women have grown, women have established themselves, and we are getting stronger day by day. And the fact that you have said we are not trying to we are not in
competition.
We are not in any competition.
We are not in any competition.
We are just trying
with
to
the
be
other
fair.
gender. Yes.
Fair.
Equal opportunity.
Exactly.
Yeah, equal opportunity.
You say equity.
Yes, equity.
Exactly. So maybe just to finalize on this, we don't want it to be too long. Maybe to just finalize, there's a woman out there we're celebrating Women's Day, but there's a woman out there who's feeling so low, and they don't feel themselves. Maybe you just have a word for them, you tell them something, and then we cut it short.
I know for a fact when women are going through a lot of it, even as women charter their paths, you know, these are paths untrended. These are paths that they are making for themselves. And I cannot lie to you that it's easy. And nothing has been any easy. For you to get something that is really fulfilling, you must work for it. Our main problem is actually women trying to be too strong, that they fail to understand that even vulnerability is a strength in itself. So as we struggle to be strong, we are exposing our weaknesses. So for a strong woman, you need to understand that here I need to be strong, but where I've reached, I have to accept that here I'm weak, and I need a fellow woman or a man to hold my hand so that we can be strong together. The problem is women are enemies unto themselves. Instead of women straightening each other's crowns, they wreck them more. And you know, that is what now exposes us to now to be intimidated by the other genders. So to me, I'll just say, as women, we have to be women. We have to fight for our space. And not just, you don't stop at fighting your space. Fight and retain your space and preserve your space. Because if you fought for your space and you don't preserve it, automatically somebody else will come and take it. Look at Kenya. Do you know Kenya is one of the countries that most top positions are being held by women? Our Chief Justice is a woman. Recently, we had a deputy Chief Justice. When you look at the Dr. Nancy Macharia, the person in charge of TSC is a woman. Most government organizations in Kenya are being led by women. What does it tell you? The confidence that now the government has in women. It also tells you that women have fought for their right space. They have been accepted. They have proved themselves, and now they can say, now we are here. That is why when we look at our women governors, they're doing very well. Very well. But we don't want people to look at them as women. We want people to look at them as equal to the task. Yes. As governors. Yes, as equal to the task, and they should not be crybabies. So what I'm trying to say is, so when as we celebrate International Women's Day, can we have our space? Can we preserve our space? And can we fit in our space? Yeah.
Let us have our space. Let us fit into our space, and let us preserve our space. A very typical statement, and a very touchy statement. If you have this, then as a woman, I don't think if there's someone who is going to step on you, you are going to outshine yourself and you're going to outdo yourself to the best. So thank you so much for listening to this conversation. My name is Diskai Sawene, and yes, till next time, we say bye-bye. Do not forget to subscribe, to like, and to share this video. Happy International Women's Day again and again.